Everyone, I call this meeting to order. Welcome to meeting number 9 of the House of Commons Standing Committee on Finance. I would like to welcome back our witnesses. Thank you. We have most of the same witnesses from the CRA Department of Finance and the Privy Council office as we had last week, so thank you for being with us again. Pursuant to the order of reference of Thursday, June 12th, 2025, and the motion adopted on September 22nd, 2025, the committee shall resume consideration of Bill C4, an act respecting certain affordability measures for Canadians and another measure. We were on debate for NDP 2. Mr. Kelly, I'll start with you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, with the meeting been adjourned, I don't think anything is moved right now, and I will move that with respect to the committee's clause-by-clause consideration of Bill C4, A, debate on each remaining clause, including any amendments or sub-amendments thereto, be limited to no more than 5 minutes per recognized party, after which the chair shall forthwith put every question necessary to dispose of the clause and any amendments or sub-amendments related thereto. B, no more than one sub-amendment shall be moved to any amendment, and once the chair has put the question on that sub-amendment, no further sub-amendments shall be received. C, once the time provided for debate on a clause has expired, any amendments for which notice has been given but were not yet moved shall be deemed to have been moved, and the chair shall put every question necessary to dispose of the clause without further debate or amendment. D, the committee not adjourn until it has disposed of Bill C4. E, should the clause-by-clause consideration not be completed within the time normally scheduled for the meeting, the committee seek the necessary resources to continue beyond its usual meeting hours until Bill C4 is disposed of. And F, upon completion of clause-by-clause consideration of Bill C4, the committee's next meeting shall be held in its usual meeting hours for its study on tax havens. So I believe an embargoed copy of the amendment was given to the clerk, and so the clerk can distribute this to everyone. Is that correct? Okay, thank you, clerk. So the amendment should be in the inboxes of members in both official languages.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. So the members have not received it yet, so they're just working on this. So while that's done,
I would still have the floor, though. So I would like to speak to the motion.
Okay, please carry on.
If it is now moved. You know, this bill does contain affordability measures that are important to Canadians, that Conservatives support. So we would like to get this bill passed. We would like to go further with this bill. That is why we proposed reasonable amendments that would have made this bill go much further toward its stated objective and provide more meaningful tax relief to Canadians, more meaningful affordability measures for new housing. And we see from the previous meeting that members of the governing party do not appear ready to adopt these amendments. Nevertheless, we would like to see this bill progress. There is agreement from Conservatives to withdraw our amendments in order to make it easier for the passage of this bill so that this committee can get on to other important business. There will be other amendments. I am not precluding, and there's nothing in this motion that would preclude the other parties from moving their amendments, which are, if they have amendments to move, then we can debate them and move on. But this is, I guess, a path forward, Chair, since the last meeting, we seem to have, the Liberals were filibustering their own bill, I guess out of fear of allowing any amendments to come to a vote. So this is a path forward so that we don't have a repeat of that, where the Liberals would just filibuster their own bill. Note, though, that this isn't going to adjourn. There is no consent from our side to adjourn this meeting if you have a speaker on the speakers list. What happened at the conclusion of the previous meeting was totally unacceptable, where the chair actually interrupted Mr. Turnbull in the middle of him asking a question to officials to gavel out the meeting, also while I was on the speakers list. We can manage the timing of these meetings. It could well be that Mr. Turnbull was ready to end in order to facilitate a timely scheduled end of the meeting. It's quite likely that I was also prepared not to cause the meeting to go longer just to get my turn in the speaking order. But to be clear, meetings can't be adjourned while a member is in the middle of speaking. And if this motion is adopted, it couldn't be more clear. We're going to pass C4 and move on to other committee business if it is the will of this committee to pass this motion, which provides this committee with a path forward. I think maybe in future too, the chair has the ability to meet with vice chairs and others to negotiate or to speak a little more informally about our work plans so that we don't have parties filibustering their own bills.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Mr. Turnbull?
Brief suspension to discuss the. Thanks.
You have to ask.
We'll come right back.
Okay, we
Couple
will
minutes. Thank you.
suspend the meeting briefly.
If he agrees.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, members. We're returning. Is there any further comments, debate on this? Mr. Kelly?
Yes, I'm going to ask the committee's unanimous consent to delete the word recognized party, 5 minutes per party, to permit, because otherwise the NDP would not be permitted to move and speak to their motion. So I ask unanimous consent to delete the word recognized.
Do we have unanimous consent to delete the word recognized?
Okay.
Okay.
I have nothing further to add to debate on the motion.
Okay. Can I put this motion to question?
Can I just clarify
Okay,
that
Mr. Turnbull?
Conservatives have retracted their amendments to the whole package?
This is a tricky thing. It goes together, but yes, we will withdraw our amendments upon passage of this motion.
Okay, thank you. Normally, once we get to them, you will withdraw as we get there.
Correct.
So,
Yeah. So you'll have to trust me on that, but yes, that's what we will do. Yes.
okay.
On the record.
So, any further debate on this, or we're good to go to a? Okay, let's put this to question. Do we have UC? Do we have a show of hands for moving this more? Yeah. All good. Okay, great. So, seeing everybody in favor, we will move forward with this. Okay, so back to NDP 2. Mr. Turnbull?
Very quick point. It's unclear to me whether the report produced will be able to meet the timelines that are useful, although I do appreciate NDP2. I think it will have to rely on historical data, and I don't think will be that useful because it'll be based on 2025 or previous tax years. So that's the reason that we'll be voting against it. But otherwise, I think it's a relatively reasonable and helpful amendment, but I just don't think that we can support it because I don't think it can meet reasonable timelines for this particular measure.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Turnbull. Would anyone else like to speak to NDP 2? No? Okay. Moving it to Mr. Kelly. Okay, we're going to move that to a vote. So,
And the vote is on NDP 2. Mr. Turnbull.
Oppose.
Mr. Leitao.
Opposed?
Mr. Sawatsky.
Opposed.
Mr. McDonald.
Opposed.
Mr. Halan.
Yes.
Mr. Kelly.
Support.
Ms. Kubena.
support.
Mr. Lefebvre.
Pour.
Mr. Garon.
Pour.
5 yeas, 5 pour, 4 nays, 4 contre.
Okay, thank you. NDP 2 carries. Moving now to BQ1. Monsieur Garon, did you want to introduce it?
Merci, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Sorry, we're going to CPC 2. Sorry, you said you were withdrawing. So
Yes, I
skipped it, but
I
go
think,
ahead.
I think
Yeah.
I have to do that clearly for the analysts and for the record. Yes, we withdraw.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. So CPC 2 withdrawn. Apologies for that. I was just trusting you. There we go. Monsieur Garon, PQ1.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Alors,
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the aim of the GST rebate when there's a sign of the contract is that after the government announcement, people who were hesitant between a newly built home or buying an existing home that was already in the market was in fact to incentivize people to go towards new homes and create demand for new built homes. And we know that first-time home buyers don't necessarily go towards newly built homes. So in this amendment, I've got a press release in front of me that said that on 20th of March 2025, the Prime Minister, even though there was not yet an electoral campaign, the Prime Minister had publicly announced in a press conference this measure. And we also heard from the constructors in Ontario and Quebec and heard that several people had believed the Prime Minister as a result of this announcement and signed a contract for a newly built home. And then when the Ways and Means motion was tabled and when the bill was tabled, they realised that the motivation for their purchase was no longer there in the legislation. So basically, we want to just change the date as of which people who've signed a contract, they can actually get this rebate. And I presume that the government is a bit apprehensive about this. Even if it's an amendment that it would be admissible, there's some cost, but it's a programme that will stretch for several years. We're just adding 2 weeks, and I think it's a question of credibility of the government, the state making this type of announcement. So I think it very much fits in with the bill, and I'd like to invite colleagues to support this.
Chair, I would like to raise a point of order respecting the admissibility of BQ1 concerning Part 2 of C4. The proposed Making Life More Affordable for Canadians Act. Part 2 proposes to amend the Excise Tax Act and other related regulations to implement a temporary GST new housing rebate for first-time homebuyers. This measure was accompanied by a royal recommendation to authorize the GST rebate for first-time homebuyers in respect of the purchase of a new house. The royal recommendation authorizes the CRA to draw from the Consolidated Revenue Fund to pay to buyers who meet the terms, conditions, and qualifications under Part 2 of C4. Once that bill receives royal assent, an amount equal to the GST that the buyer paid to the builder of the house. Let me explain how the scheme operates. First-time homebuyers who qualify under Part 2 of C4, who purchase a new house from a builder, pay that builder the price of the house as well as the GST related to that purchase. The key condition in respect of Block or BQ1 that governs the rebate is that the buyer must have entered into and signed a purchase agreement on or after May 27, 2025. Provided that condition and the other qualifying conditions in Part 2 of C4 are met, and the bill receives royal assent, the qualifying buyer could file a claim with the CRA for the GST rebate portion of the purchase. CRA would process the claim, and provided the conditions are met under Part 2 of C4, CRA would be authorized by the royal recommendation to draw funds from the Consolidated Revenue Fund to issue a rebate payment for the GST portion to the buyer. What BQ1 proposes is to move the start date of the scheme set out in Part 2 of C4 from May 27, 2025 to March 20, 2025. This would allow first-time homebuyers who purchased a new house on or after March 20th, 2025 to claim the GST rebate, which would represent an expansion of the scope of the rebate in a manner that is inconsistent with the terms and conditions of the rebate contained in the bill at first reading and is not authorized by the bill and exceeds the maximal charge authorized by the royal recommendation. This amendment requires a new royal recommendation, which could only be provided at the report stage by a Minister of the Crown with the accompanying amendment. This is not a novel matter for the House to consider in respect of a GST rebate for the purchase of housing. In the previous Parliament, on February 1st, 2024, the Speaker ruled on the need for a royal recommendation for Bill C-356, respecting a GST rebate on housing. Standing in the name of the former member for Carleton, the Speaker stated, and I quote, "In raising his point of order, the parliamentary secretary argued that the bill would infringe on the Crown's financial prerogative by repurposing $100 million from the Housing Accelerator Fund and by implementing a 100% GST rebate on new residential rental property for which the average rent payable is below the market rate." Page 838 of House of Commons Procedure and Practice, 3rd edition states, a royal recommendation not only fixes the allowable charge, but also its objects, purposes, conditions, and qualifications. For this reason, a royal recommendation is required, not only in the case where money is being appropriated, but also in the case where the authorization to spend for a specific purpose is significantly altered. Without a royal recommendation, a bill that either increases the amount of an appropriation or extends its objects, purposes, conditions, and qualifications is inadmissible on the grounds that it infringes on the Crown's financial initiative. Following a careful review of Bill C-356, the Chair is preoccupied with some elements that would cause a withdrawal from the public treasury for new and distinct purposes. The bill seeks, among other considerations, to authorize a minister to disperse up to $100 million to municipalities that surpass identified housing targets. This amount would be withdrawn directly from the Consolidated Revenue Fund, although the bill requires a minister to table a plan to reallocate funds from the Housing Accelerator Fund program to offset that amount. Moreover, the bill also proposes certain circumstances for which a 100% GST rebate on new residential rental property may be paid out. The aforementioned elements would cause new and distinct charges against the Consolidated Revenue Fund, thus constituting an infringement on the financial initiative of the Crown. Accordingly, Bill C-356 must be accompanied by a royal recommendation, and without one, the Chair will not put the question at the third reading stage of the bill in its present form. End of quote. This is the situation that this committee has now before it, Chair. BQ1 would alter the terms, conditions, and qualifications of the royal recommendation that is attached to Part 2 of Bill C-4. Specifically allowing individuals who entered into and sign a purchase agreement with a builder on March 20th, 25 to May 26, 2025, who would not otherwise be eligible for the GST rebate under the parameters of Part 2 of C4. This expands the eligibility requirements and thus infringes upon the Crown's financial prerogative. This amendment is inadmissible to be moved in committee because it requires a royal recommendation. I therefore submit to the Chair that BQ1 is not admissible on the aforementioned grounds. Thank you, Chair, and thank you to the members for their patience and for indulging me. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Turnbull. I'm just going to consult with the legislative clerk on this. Thank you. Just maybe for the officials, could you clarify how the GST rebate would work in terms of the impact on the Consolidated Revenue Fund and whether this is considered to be a payment or a tax credit? And if you could just explain that, please, for this amendment. Thank you.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Le remboursement.
Thank you, Madam Chair. GST rebate for buying a new home under Bill C4 works as a payment coming from the Consolidated Revenue Fund. From a legislative point of view, it's not actually giving up on tax revenue that would otherwise be paid. And so any increase in the number of people who are admissible under this new date put forward in the amendment would lead to extra payments coming from the Consolidated Revenue Fund. And the CRA has always said that no rebate can be dealt with and processed until Bill C4 has been given royal assent, because a payment has to be made from the Consolidated Revenue Fund. Thank you. Just to try and better grasp this, because I'm not an expert on tax policies, is that different or is it the same as what was put forward in Bill C-356 by Mr. Poilievre? Madam Chair, thank you for that question. The concepts are the same. So in Bill C-356, a new rebate was proposed, just like other rebates, and it was for new homes. So here we're in exactly the same legislative landscape with the same provisions under the Excise Act. And if you look at the exact wording of the amendments that have been put forward in C4, we talk about payments that are made. We're not talking about tax reductions. No, it's a payment that's given. And that was the decision that was handed down in February 2024. And this is a logical sequence of case law in terms of admissibility or not of amendments related to GST rebates. Thank you very much, Mr. Coulombe. I have another question to help me in my thinking. What's being proposed, would that change the royal recommendation that accompanied Bill C4? Thank you for that question. Our experts at the Finance Department have assessed the extra costs that would be entailed by this measure. So there would be more homes that potentially would be admissible for this measure. And so there would be an increase of $50 million over the 5 years for the tax planning period. So yes, definitely, we're talking about an order of magnitude that would go beyond the royal recommendation that was included in the tabling of Bill C4 last June. Thank you. I'll just take a moment here. Thank you.
Monsieur Garon, sur le même point d'ordre.
Mr. Garand, on the same point of order? Yes, Madam Chair. I disagree. The Parliamentary Secretary refers to C-356, which was a PMB, which needed a royal recommendation that was never granted, and that's completely different from what's before us today. The bill is already covered by a Ways and Means motion as well. I understand the opinion of officials, which goes against the law clerk's opinion, who studied this proposal upstream, and of course they're there to advise you, but it's their opinion that should prevail. It's not a question here to see whether it leads to expenditure or not. We have to see if it would engage expenditure under legislative case law. Any tax exemption, for example, in form or substance, does have an effect on the revenue fund. Now, it's clear that the rebate that's associated with these new homes is directly associated the GST amount that was paid. So it's a rebate of a tax, reimbursement of a tax that was paid, and we believe that under parliamentary case law that exists, this amendment does not require a royal recommendation, and the comparison with C-356, that was a private member's bill, and it was never supported by Ways and Means motion adopted by the House. So we think that this comparison is not admissible in this particular case here. Thank you, Mr. Garon.
And thank you to the officials for sharing, and I appreciate both Mr. Turnbull and Mr. Garon's interventions on here. As House of Commons Procedure and Practice 3rd edition states on page 772, since an amendment may not infringe upon the financial initiative of the Crown, it is inadmissible if it imposes a charge on the public treasury, or if it extends the objects or purposes or relaxes the conditions and qualifications specified in the royal recommendation. In the opinion of the chair, the amendment proposes a new scheme which will affect government revenues and expenditures, and it was clear that this is both a payment and would exceed the royal recommendation as outlined that accompanied C4. Therefore, I rule the amendment inadmissible. Monsieur Caron.
Madame la Présidente, j'aimerais contester votre décision et la mettre au vote.
Madam Chair, I'd like to challenge the decision and put it to a vote. Yes, we will vote on this.
Is, shall the decision of the chair be sustained? If you vote affirmative, yay, the chair's decision will be sustained. If you vote negative, it will be overturned. Mr. Turnbull.
Sustain.
Mr. Leteo.
Sustain.
Mr. Sawatsky.
Sustain.
Mr. McDonald.
Sustained.
Mr. Hallan.
No. Nope.
Mr. Kelly.
Nope.
Madame Combena. No. Mr. Lefebvre.
Nope.
Mr. Garon. No. 4 yeas, 4 pour, 5 nays, 5 contre.
Okay, my decision was overturned. Debate on the proposed amendment? Seeing none, we'll go straight to a vote. On, shall BQ1 carry?
Mr. Turnbull.
No.
Mr. Leteo.
No.
Mr. Sawatsky.
No.
Mr. McDonald.
No.
Mr. Hallan.
Yes.
Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
Madame Combena.
Yes.
Mr. Lefebvre.
Oui.
Mr. Garon.
Oui.
5 yeas, 5 pour, 4 nays, 4 contre.
BQ1 carries. Okay. Shall clause 3 carry as amended? On division? So, sorry. Adopted on division. I said shall it carry and you said no.
Correct. We vote no if it's a recorded vote, but I'm going to spare you that if you want. Okay, recorded vote.
I think a
then.
recorded vote
Okay,
would probably be
right.
better. Oh, yeah, okay. Shall clause 3 as amended carry?
Mr. Turnbull.
Yes.
Mr. Leteo.
Yes. Oui.
Mr. Sawatsky.
Yes.
Mr. McDonald.
Yes.
Mr. Hallan.
Nope.
Mr. Kelly.
Nope.
Madame Combena.
No.
Mr. Lefebvre.
No.
Mr. Garon.
Oui.
5 yeas, 5 pour, 4 nays, 4 contre.
Okay, clause 3 as amended carries. CPC 3, Mr. Hallan. Clause 4, CPC 3 amendment. Mr. Hallan, would you like to?
We'll withdraw.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hallan. CPC 3 on clause 4 is withdrawn. We will now move to, sorry, 1 second. Okay, NDP 3. Ms. Kwan, would you like to introduce it?
Well, thank you very much, Madam Chair. NDP 3 essentially proposed that the first-time home buyer's GST exemption is applied based on the closing date of a home purchase rather than the date of purchase agreement is signed.
Oui, Monsieur Garon.
Il est ma compréhension qu'étant donné que BQ1
Well, as BQ1 has been adopted, I understood that NDP 3 becomes obsolete given the dates included in NDP 3.
Merci pour, mais non, c'est parce que BQ1.
Thank you. No, because BQ1 was on another article, so there's no conflict with that.
You can continue.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. So the issue that has been brought to my attention from some Canadians is that as as more and more Canadians are concerned about affordability, and this would also apply to those who are entering into the housing market for the first time and are relying on the exemption to make home ownership more affordable. The vast majority of the transactions in Canada, the goods and services tax, the GST, is applied at the point when a good or service is actually purchased or delivered. So in the real estate sense, that moment occurs on the closing date when the legal title transfers to the buyer and when payment is complete. So GST is assessed and then paid at that time at the closing date. For pre-construction or delayed closings, buyers often sign agreements months or years before taking ownership, but the GST is not applied until the closing date, highlighting why this is only logical and consistent to apply any GST exemptions at that point as well. Basing the exemption on the purchase of the agreement date creates I believe, several unfair outcomes. It will penalize first-time home buyers for circumstances beyond their control, such as construction delays or market conditions. It contradicts the general tax principle that GST applies at the time of final sale, and it introduces confusion and inequity into a policy designed to provide relief. By tying the exemption to the closing day, the government would align with how GST is typically administered, increase policy transparency, and ensure that first-time homebuyers who are taking legal ownership after the exemption policy is in effect receive the support that they were promised. So this is simply a change that would make a meaningful difference to many Canadians who are trying to secure their first home in a very challenging housing market. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Kwan. For the same reasons that I had deemed the BQ one inadmissible, because I believe this requires a royal recommendation, I will also be deeming this inadmissible. Okay, moving on to BQ2. Monsieur Garon, would you like to introduce this?
Donc, l'argumentation en faveur de BQ.
So the argument for BQ2 is the same as BQ1. So everything that I said beforehand, including on the inadmissibility, I would consider it just as being repeated here, Madam Chair.
I mean, the chair's ruling stands. I still believe this is inadmissible. I see Mr.
J'aimerais en appeler de votre décision.
Oh, bien sûr. Okay, so we will call this.
I would like to challenge your decision.
Go ahead.
The question is, shall the decision of the chair be sustained? Mr. Trimble.
Sustain.
Mr. Leteo.
Sustained.
Mr. Sawatsky.
Sustained.
Mr. McDonald.
Sustained.
Mr. Halan.
No.
Mr. Kelly.
No.
Madame Combena. No. Mr. Lefebvre.
No.
Mr. Garon.
Non.
4 yeas, 4 pour, 5 nays, 5 contre.
Okay, my decision is overturned. Is there debate on this motion? No, seeing none, we'll put this motion to question. Shall BQ2 carry?
Mr. Trimble.
No.
Mr. Leteo.
No.
Mr. Sawatsky.
No.
Mr. McDonald.
No.
Mr. Halan.
Yes.
Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
Madame Combena.
Yes.
Mr. Lefebvre.
Oui.
Mr. Garon.
Oui.
5 yeas, 5 pour, 4 nays, 4 contre.
Okay, BQ2 carries. Shall clause 4 carry? As amended. On division? Okay, clause 4 carries as amended on division. Clause 5, CPC 4, Mr. Halan?
We'll withdraw.
CPC 4 withdrawn. NDP 4, Ms. Kwan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The same principle applies with NDP 4, NDP 5, and NDP 6 under different categories. So I make the same argument as previously about the GST exemption date. I just think, and I hope that committee members will reconsider this, because a lot of the people who, for example, enter into pre-sales would not qualify for this. At a time, affordability is absolutely critical. This is not just about facilitating a process, but it's about creating housing that's affordable for people to get into the market. And the closing date, GST is often applied at the time of closing. When you go and buy something, even today, right? I go out and bought a cell phone today, let's say, and when I go to the cash register to pay, to the cashier, I pay at the time of purchase and I take my product home and I pay my GST. That should apply for housing as well. The notion that it somehow will be a cost to Treasury, it'll be minimal cost, if that, because the concept of the application, whether you pay, if it applies at the time of signing versus the time of purchase, is essentially the same. In any case, if Conservative Bloc and Liberal members want to ensure affordability for home buyers, this will make a difference to them to apply the GST exemption at time of closing.
Thank you, Ms. Kwan. For the reasons as I outlined earlier, the chair continues to state that this is inadmissible. Moving on to BQ3. Monsieur Garon, would you like to introduce BQ3?
Oui, Madame la Présidente.
Yes, Madam Chair. Thank you very much. So BQ3 is logical. It's identical to BQ2 and 1, the ones that you really liked. So given that there's different types of housing that are covered by different articles, this has to come up several times. So consider that everything that I've already said is now on repeat, and my response to Mr. Turnbull is also on repeat, and I still challenge your decision. Thank you very much for letting me know. So I continue to consider that this amendment is inadmissible. And I would like to put your decision to a vote. We'll do
The
so.
question of the chair be sustained. Mr. Turnbull.
Sustain.
Mr. Leteo.
Sustain.
Mr. Sawatsky.
Sustain.
Mr. McDonald.
Sustained.
Mr. Holland.
No.
Mr. Kelly.
Nope.
Madame Cobena.
No.
Mr. Lefebvre.
No.
Monsieur Garon.
No.
4 yeas, 4 pour, 5 nays, 5 contre.
Okay, my decision is overturned. Debate on this topic? No? Okay. Shall BQ3 carry?
No.
We'll do a recorded vote.
The vote is on BQ3. Mr. Turnbull.
No. No.
Mr. Leteo.
No.
Mr. Sawatsky.
No.
Mr. McDonald.
No.
Mr. Holland.
Yes.
Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
Madame Cobena.
Yes.
Mr. Lefebvre. Monsieur Garon.
Oui.
5 yeas, 5 pour, 4 nays, 4 contre.
Yeah. Okay, BQ3 carried. Shall clause 5? Shall clause 5 carry as amended? On, we'll do a recorded vote.
Yes.
Mr. Leteo.
Yes. Wait.
Mr. Sawatsky.
Yes.
Mr. McDonald.
Yes.
Mr. Holland.
Yes.
Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
Madame Cobena.
Yes.
Mr. Lefebvre.
Oui.
Mr. Garon.
Oui.
9 yeas, 9 pour.
Okay, clause 5 carries as amended. Clause 6. Mr. Holland, would you like to introduce CPC 5?
We'll withdraw it, Chair.
CPC 5 withdrawn. Ms. Kwan, NDP 5?
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. I'll have one more go at it, just so that people know what the language says. And in this instance, though, in this particular clause, it applies to cooperatives. But the language for this, whether it's a co-op versus a condo or a home, is the same. What we're talking about is striking out the word that says the agreement of purchase and sale transferred to, in paragraph 2C, is entered into after May 26, 2025 and before 2031. To change to this language, that ownership of the share is transferred to the particular individual after May 26, 2025 and before 2021. So it is about the closing date again. I mean, the only difference about the closing date is to apply the GST exemption at time of closing as opposed to at time of the signing of the agreement. And this particular amendment I'm asking for it to apply to co-ops.
Thank you, Ms. Kwan. My consideration of this amendment as admissible stands and continues for the reasons I outlined previously. Monsieur Garon, BQ4.
Merci, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As you know, different types of housing are dealt with different articles, but it's the same argument. So I consider what I said previously, and previously is a repetition, and my opposition to Mr. Turnbull repeat. And for what's coming next, we'll see. Thank you very much, Mr. Garon. So I consider this to be inadmissible, this amendment, for the reasons that I gave previously, because it would need a royal recommendation. With full respect, I'd like us to have a vote on your decision. So let's put it to vote.
Mr. Turnbull.
Sustain.
Mr. DeTeo.
Oui, sustain.
Mr. Sawatsky.
Sustain.
Mr. McDonald.
Sustained.
Mr. Halan.
No.
Mr. Kelly.
No.
Madame Cabana.
No.
Mr. Lefebvre.
No.
Mr. Garon.
Non.
4 yeas, 4 pour, 5 nays, 5 contre.
Okay, merci. So, yes, Mr. Halan, point of order.
Chair, I'm just wondering I guess for all the block amendments, since we have the same outcome on each one, I'm just wondering if there's you know, buy-in from everyone that we could pass it on division because we have the same outcome in each one. Maybe it'll help save some time if that works for everyone.
Yeah, Mr. Turnbull, same point of order.
I don't particularly have a problem with that as long as it's the chair's ruling that it's inadmissible is documented on each one, and then you're overruling the chair. If that's how everyone's going to vote, then we could do the whole thing as a package and get it over with. Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second. Monsieur Garon, même point d'ordre.
Mr.
No,
Garon, on the same point of order. No, I'd like to propose the following motion, that amendments BQ 5, 6, and 7 were considered as being tabled and discussed and judged inadmissible by the chair, and the decision of the chair has been deemed as overturned by the committee, and that they should be adopted on division.
I mean, we could, you know, yeah.
Sous-amendement, Madame la Présidente.
Sub-amendment now, Chair? So 5, 6, 7, and 8 as well, 9 and 10. If we're going to save time, let's go for it.
All of them.
Okay, do we have agreement from committee members to move forward that we? Oh, okay, 1 second. So just speaking with the clerks, we don't want to be too confused, but how about I propose the following, that each time we get to a block amendment, it is deemed inadmissible, it is challenged by the chair, the outcome is overturned, and then it is passed on division, but we will go through each time just to make sure that we don't mess anything up, unless you don't want to challenge it. No? No?
Non, votre proposition me semble un compromis.
Your proposal, I think, is a very acceptable compromise in the interests of the time that we've got and using our public funds correctly.
Consider, we were on BQ4, is that where we were? Okay. We will consider BQ4 deemed inadmissible by the chair. Challenged, the committee has overturned the chair's ruling, and it has passed on division. What? Okay, muy bien. Okay, so shall BQ4 carry? Huh?
As you just said.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah.
Sorry, okay.
Shall clause 6.
Shall clause 6 carry?
As amended.
As amended. Okay. Clause 7, CPC 6, Mr. Halan.
We'll withdraw, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Halan. CPC 6 withdrawn. BQ 5 will be considered inadmissible by the chair, challenged, overruled, passed on division. Okay, there we go. Shall clause 7 carry as amended?
Yes.
Okay, clause 7 carried as amendment. Clause 8, BQ 6 ruled inadmissible by the chair, challenged, overturned, passed on division. Shall clause 8 carry as amended? Nope.
Okay.
Yes?
Okay. That's fine.
Okay. Sorry, I'm going too fast. I'm going to slow down. All right, we're going to take it back a step. Okay. Clause 9. Yeah? C'est bon? Okay. BQ 7, introduced, deemed inadmissible by the chair, chair's ruling, challenged, overturned, and passed on division. Okay. Shall clause 9 carry?
As amended.
As amended. Okay. Passed. Carried, sorry. Clause 10. BQ 7.1, deemed inadmissible by the chair, challenged, overturned, carried on division. NDP 6. Ms. Kwan.
Thank you, Madam
Nope,
Chair.
sorry, 1 second, hold on. Sorry, Ms. Kwan, NDP 6 cannot be moved because there is a line conflict with BQ 7.1 and 7.1 carried. So unfortunately, you can't move that one. Okay.
Same thing for the CPC 7.
And same thing for CPC 7 can also not be moved. So I will not give you the chance to withdraw it this time. Apologies. Shall clause 10 carry as amended? Yes. Okay. Shall clause 10 carried as amended? Clause 11. BQ 8, deemed inadmissible by the, Mr. Kelly, point of order?
Quick on number 10, clause 10, can we, I guess I would ask for consent to say that one is adopted on division.
Do we have consent to adopt on division, clause 10? What? Huh? We did. He's asking for consent because it was deemed carried, and he's asking for it
Carried on
to be
division.
carried on division.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
we
that
have
one.
consent?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I will slow down. Sorry. You guys wanted me to go faster, and then. Okay. Clause 11, BQ 8 deemed inadmissible by the chair, challenged, overturned, carried on division. Shall clause 11 carry as amended? Okay, clause 11 carried as amended. Can't wait till we do the BIA. This is, yeah. Okay. Clause, oh, okay, clause 12, because CPC 4,
No,
no, sorry,
no.
CPC,
Is it withdraw?
okay, CPC 8, would you like to? Okay,
We'll withdraw.
thank you, Mr. Halan.
And Chair, we have no issue if you want to just make the call for the CPC ones and just say as withdrawn.
For the entire bill?
Yeah, one more. And then if you want to, pass the rest of them as a block, we're okay with that.
What, sorry,
We're almost there.
Yeah, like whatever ones that we have,
Yeah, you still have a few left.
because if we'll just block them together.
we're going to go one by one,
Okay.
just so that we make sure we get everything. So, you know, in future, if you're going to withdraw amendments, maybe don't put them on in the first place. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, we're having fun. We're all having fun right now, Mr. Kelly. BQ9, sorry, moved, chair deemed inadmissible, challenged, chair's decision overturned, carried on division. Shall clause 12 carry as amended? Okay, clause 12 carried as amended. Clause 13, CPC 9, Mr. Halan?
We'll withdraw.
Thank you, Mr. Halan. CPC 9 withdrawn. BQ 10, moved, chair deemed inadmissible, chair's ruling overturned, passed on division. Shall clause 13 carry as amended? Okay, thank you. Clause 13 carried as amended. Clause 14, Mr. Halan, did you want to introduce CPC 10?
No, we'll withdraw.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
And Chair, I don't know if this will, you know, if there's unanimous consent for this, if we want to block the rest of them, even until, like, from 14 to 39, if you want to make it one block, we could pass it all together as long as everyone is okay with that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Halan, for this suggestion. So CPC 10 is withdrawn. Is there unanimous consent from the committee to group clause 14 to 39? Yes, okay. No, Mr.
Well, clause 14, I think we have to deal with separately because there was a proposed amendment. Then we can do 15.
That was withdrawn.
Okay.
That was
Okay.
he just withdrew that, yeah. But thank you for paying attention. Okay, so since we are grouping them, shall clauses 14 to 39 carry?
J'aimerais un vote,
Yes.
s'il vous plaît.
Une vote? Okay, absolument.
Vote, please. Yes, absolutely. We can have a vote on this. So we'll vote to see if 14 to 39 can be taken as a group.
Monsieur Leteo,
Oui.
Mrs. Sawatsky,
Oui.
Mr. McDonald,
Yes.
Mr. Halan,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Madame Cabana,
Yes.
Monsieur Lefebvre,
Oui.
Monsieur Garand.
Non.
8 pour, 8 yea, 1 nay, un contre.
Okay, so clauses 14 to 39 carry. Moving on to clause 40, Mr. Halan, CPC 11.
We'll withdraw, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Halan. CPC 11 withdrawn. Shall clause 40 carry? Yes. Okay, so clause 40 carries. Clause 41, CPC 12, Mr. Halan.
Withdraw. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Halan. Shall Clause 41 carry? Clause 42, Mr. Halan for CPC 13?
Withdraw, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Halan. Shall Clause 42 carry?
Yes.
Okay, Clause 42 carried. There are no amendments from Clauses 43 to 49. Is there unanimous consent to group them for the vote? Yes. Okay. Given that, shall Clauses 43 to 49 carry?
Yes.
Okay, Clauses 43 to 49 carry. Well, we're making good time, guys. Shall the short title carry? On division.
Affordable measures.
Okay. The short title carries on division. Shall the title carry? The title carries? On division. Okay. Shall the bill as amended carry? Yeah, wow, okay. I'm not there yet.
Oh, my apologies.
Shall the chair report the bill as amended to the House? Okay. This one? Okay. And shall the committee order a reprint of the bill as amended for the use of the House at report stage? Okay. Okay. Congratulations, everyone. You passed this bill through committee. Monsieur Garon.
Je voulais juste, Madame la Présidente, remercier les...
Madam Chair, I'd like to thank colleagues on the other side. We've shown that we're able to work quickly even if we have disagreements, and I'd like to thank the government officials for their very, very big demonstration of professionalism and patience. Thank you.
Okay, do I have leave to adjourn the committee?
I'll
Okay, Mr.
join in
Kelly.
and thank officials for their patience and other members of the committee for cooperation today. Thank you.
Oh,
I would
Mr.
like to do
Mr.
the same and reiterate, and thanks to the officials. It's really great to work together. Looking forward to the same degree of collaboration when we get to the budget.
Mr. Liddell, you want to do the same?
Aussi pour remercier les...
I would also like to thank the officials and thank you for having listened to me the other day. Thank you very much to all of the officials. Thank you to the committee members. We have worked through our first bill here, and I'm looking forward to future collaboration for further studies and reports. Thank you. The meeting's done.